Hello, and welcome to Ben Readin. Due to a cosmic coincidence millions of the years in the making, two Bens work at the same small coastal library. We want to thank you for tuning in to this literary extravaganza. So for February, we read Daphne DuMaurier's Frenchman's Creek, which is a romance novel. It's a very traditional romance novel. Daphne DuMaurier was writing in the early 50s, and sort of, I believe, romance novels sort of came from her and Jane Austen.
She wrote Rebecca.
She did write Rebecca, which we have been told is another one of those
seminal romance novel.
Yep. And Frenchman's Creek. We have a lot of thoughts on Frenchman's Creek and a lot of thoughts on romance novels. However, we are not experts.
We are not. So bear with us, everybody.
I would say we're novices. I think counting Daphne DuMaurier's Frenchman's Creek, I have read 2 romance novels.
Mm-hmm. I would say about the same for me as well.
We were both talking a little bit before the show, and we think, we've read many books with romance in them, strong romantic components, but actually a romance novel is sort of a whole different beast. And I don't know if I understand it. I'll be very honest, I don't understand Frenchman's Creek. There will be spoilers ahead, so just be aware.
Yeah. And I feel the same way. This is actually kind of it's a very well written book. There are some beautiful passages, particularly in the beginning and in the end. But it's a very frustrating book because I feel like the main character, Donna, she kind of leaves the book the same way that she starts the book. And for me, that was very frustrating.
Yeah, it seems like the book was supposed to be about emotional growth.
Yeah.
Through a romantic encounter with the Frenchman, a pirate who lives in her backyard.
Yep. In a creek.
In a creek.
That's where he moors his pirate ship.
And she sort of takes leave of her husband in the city to go out to the estate to sort of find herself, is the way it feels like at the beginning of the book. And,
she's very free-spirited and very, just like trying to figure out what she wants and who she is.
And she feels very stifled. I mean, she has everything. I mean, this is an aristocratic woman. She's got the estate in London, knows the royalty, has the estate out in Nevron. And and she just sort of isn't happy.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to find out what will make her happy. And and by the end of the book, it doesn't really seem like she ever does.
Yeah.
Or ever will. And she's sort of a frustrating character in that way.
So let's talk about some of the things that we did like in the book.
Oh, yeah. And there were many.
Yeah. The writing is sensational.
It is the type of writing that you read a passage and you go, wow.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yep.
That felt amazing.
Yeah, like the very last page in the book, actually.
Oh yeah, the last line is so
great. The last line is great. She seemed a painted ship upon the still white sea, and Donna shivered suddenly, for the shingle felt cold and chill on her bare feet, while a little wave splashed upon them and sighed and was no more. Then, out of the sea, like a ball of fire, the sun came hard and red.
The end.
Boom.
Bam.
It's really good. There's some really good writing in here.
Yeah.
And the opening chapter is amazing.
I would read it again.
Yeah. Like I wish. Yeah. I kind of just want to read the first chapter.
Yeah.
Like a few times.
It made it in, like, good writing invokes emotion, and that first chapter really made me feel like I was sort of going back in time, and that's what she was doing. Yeah. She was invoking the past through the eyes of the present and talking about the landscape and how if you had been here before, you would have seen the manor house and these trees, and you just sort of fade into the history of this place, and it's exquisite.
I felt like I was being prepared for a tale.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not. I mean, the rest of the book is not like that.
No, it's a story, and things happen.
Yeah.
But it's not. It doesn't draw you along in the same sense.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I wasn't emotionally invested in Donna's relationship with the Frenchman.
Yeah.
I thought it was all very muddled because she has a husband and kids, and then she meets the Frenchman, and it's very whirlwind, but it's very chaste. And like it's almost like this relationship with the Frenchman, the family are props. They're secondary thoughts. And even if that were the case, and that is who Donna is, she can just leave behind her family. That would be okay, but it wasn't ever presented that way. It wasn't ever presented like a woman breaking with the old to become something new through this relationship. It was very push me, pull you.
There was a weird. I think what I'm actually just realizing right now is that it's like it's this weird love triangle. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted. It's like you got Donna, you got the Frenchman, and then you got Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
And
poor Harry.
I really wanted Harry to be more of a character who tries a little bit by the end. Because by the end of the book, they just sort of accept, it seems, their roles.
Yeah.
And it just seems like they're going to be like, well, we'll never understand each other, and we're probably going to be pretty unhappy. But I guess that's just the way life is.
And maybe that's a British thing.
Like maybe that's a thing, but that was just very frustrating.
I mean, it was
very kind of, I guess, sad.
Yeah, I mean, it was written in a time divorce wasn't really an option.
Yeah.
And it definitely, in the setting of the book, that wasn't really an option. Mm-hmm. She would have had to have left and abandoned. There wasn't any way to sort of break out of this relationship. There were some other things that I really liked about the book. There was a really pretty exciting action sequence.
Yeah.
There is some little daring duo. It's some clever escape at the end, a nice clever escape, and there is sort of the seminal battle almost is between Donna and another male character who she is fighting off. He's going to kill her.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, it's just it's a pretty brutal fight.
Yeah, absolutely. She gets. I mean, she gets into some scrapes.
Yeah, and but yeah, ultimately, I think it is. It's an unsatisfying story because the romance doesn't work. She doesn't go with the Frenchman when he sails off into the sunset. She's not going to be happy at home. So it does. It leaves sort of a sad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
But the book also, throughout that, you're sort of teased. You think you almost are rooting for her to go with the Frenchman and leave her family behind. I mean, this book is full of those sayings with her and the Frenchman, like "You are my life," and "We are one," and every thought you have, I have, and we just want to be free, and then at the end, none of that happens.
Yeah, and it would be interesting. It would be interesting to read a book, and maybe they've done this from the point of view of the Frenchman, show the story from
his point of view. Yeah, I'd read that.
Yeah, it just would. It would be interesting to see, that it felt like the Frenchman didn't really have too many flaws.
Oh,
He wasn't really. I mean, I guess he's a fantasy.
He's a perfect.
Yeah.
He's a perfect pirate.
Yeah. It just would have been interesting to see what's What's going on up there?
Yeah, what's making him tick? Well, I mean, and it might have sounded like we've panned this book, but I would recommend this book. I would recommend this book to people who enjoy historic fiction. I would recommend this book to people who enjoy romance novels. I would
see where it all
to see where it all started. And I would do it with reservations. I would say, it is dense. It is written differently than you might be used to. It's not a modern novel.
Yeah. It's very chaste.
It is very chaste. Everything is fade to black. I don't even recall a real kiss in the novel. But yeah, I would recommend it. What about you, Ben?
I would recommend it too. There's some real solid writing. There's some good action moments. There was just a lot of talking around each other that kind of did it in for me a little bit.
It was almost like a Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Oh,
kind of like a Woody Allen movie.
Some of them are great.
Yep.
And anyway, thank you very much for listening to Ben Readin.
See you later, everybody.